Oh my. Mm. So we got to come back and with this newfound information. I've been absorbing a lot of content. I checked out what's going on with the Rawlins fellow, the J.K. Rawlins, with the autistic people, dealing with the autism, how they trying to set up. There's a lot going on right now. We got people being deported to concentration camps. People don't feel safe traveling. We have them getting, feeling like they want to conduct studies on autistic children. They playing with the trans people. They're playing, with the women who are born with wombs. Um, yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in this society. They're coming for the ones. Um, I don't know if I would call it what she called it. I don't know if I would call it the low hanging fruit. I don't know if I would call it low hanging fruit, but they're definitely coming for what they feel like are vulnerable populations. It's definitely given we coming for those that we feel like are most vulnerable. We coming for those that we feel like we could get away with targeting. And I made a video. I made a video for TikTok before I made this video, and I want to talk about it a little bit more live about this DL list situation. And my big thing is why in 2025 is it so is it so detestable? Like, why y'all still? I want to talk about the DL brothers, not DL Hughley, because a lot of times we confuse. We hear DL and we start thinking about DL Hughley, but in this particular instance, I'm not talking about DL Hughley. I'm not talking about DL Hughley, and I know that DL has to hate his name during times like this. When we start talking about DL men and DL list, I know that DL Hughley has to be having a hard time in this particular season of his life, because then when we start talking about DL men, and then you have a name like DL Hughley. But what we really talking about when we say, DL men, we talking about those who are existing in the DL Chronicles, if you will. Those fine brothers who have a secret society of rock climbing, if you will. And it's how they maintain the patriarchy. You understand me? Because being seen as someone who enjoys bottoming, being seen as someone who likes getting your back beat out. You know what I'm saying? Being seen with someone with titties at the top and penis on the bottom riding your backside in a patriarchal hegemonic society. Because what you have to understand is back in the day when they would get their backs climbed, get their backs beat out, a lot of times this was happening, after war. And after war was over, how they would prove that they were conquerors and how they would prove that they had dominion is that they would penetrate the men to say, I have conquered you. I have conquered this. This is my, and Tyler Perry delves into this a little bit on Ruthless, where, the highest, when he accepts you and you become, one of his, he has to penetrate you so that your seed can now live in him. And so Tyler Perry, insightfully delves into the mind of the down low man. And so a lot of times this dominance is not even about romantic interest. It's about dominance. And so it's about sometimes they want to be dominated and sometimes they want to dominate. So, and sometimes them being submissive is their way of tapping into their femininity, but that's not something that they want everybody to see, because how you maintain your capital of being respected as a man in a patriarchal and hegemonic society is people not knowing that you like your back blown out, that you like to have your back climbed like someone is mountain climbing. This is one thing that I noticed about the trans attracted men, a lot of them. They, even the ones that are visible as trans attracted men, even the ones that go with like the Nettas and the Charles, the Charles and the Nettas and the well, they're not together anymore, but the Alvos and the Shamars, it's always understood that one is masculine and one is feminine. And the one who's masculine is able to maneuver a little bit, have a little bit more, like they could maneuver around the men. Like the men will accept them into their spaces because you don't bring attention. You're not clocking my tea. You're not spilling my tea. And so the more masculine you act, the more they can be around you. And so the performance is very important to keeping the secret. They have men who are DL that are not sleeping with women. They have men who are truly just gay. Will talk to women and flirt with women, but they don't want no parts of the coochie. Only want to be with men, but still not ready to be open about that. There's gay men who are on the down low. This is not just about bisexual. This is not just about men who sleep with women being on the DL. You have to understand that the DL culture is this shit bigger than Nino Brown. There are men who are 100% homosexual, who don't want to be with anything else but a man, but they are still not ready to come out and say that. And so they live what others perceive to be a heterosexual life because they don't want to lose the respect. But meanwhile, they all, and this goes on a lot in the church, will go and cut up like two lesbians, will go and cut up like two females, will go and cut up in a room and then come out of the room and be dapping each other off, bruh, no homo. It's a culture. And when I was younger, I definitely saw that I could have got swept up into it. I definitely saw, but hell, I was not able to keep it up. I was not able to do it. I was not able to live that lie. I was not able to be a part of that. I know. It was too much of my grandma in me. It was too much of my great grandmas. It was too much of my mamas in me to even pretend like I could play this game. Patriarchy and hegemony, yeah, you get to be at the top, but it costs too much. The price you pay is high. That's hell. That's hell. That it costs too much for fake respect. Because it's fake respect. If people only respect you because they don't know that you could take more dick than a stripper, if people are only respecting you because they can't imagine you with your hands touching your toes, but you do though. If people only respecting you because they can't imagine you doing such a good job of performing, they can't imagine you with Dyke in your throat. I mean, starting from your anal cavity and coming to your throat. That's how much you got in you. You love it. You can't imagine your life without it. And if your respect is contingent upon people not seeing that, but that's what you love, you love gagging on penises. Throat goat. Gag reflexes on beam. Putting females and trans people to shame. Throat goat. And your reputation is contingent upon nobody knowing. Nobody knowing. Nobody can know. They can't look at you and tell that you the throat goat. They can't look at you and tell that your gag reflexes are undeniable. Your head game is vicious. And your respect is contingent upon that. A whole lie. Well, who really delusional? Is it the trans woman? Is it you? Who really lying? How can one judge the other? How can one condemn the other? You the throat goat. Your anal cavity is looser than mine. Your jaw unhinges like a python. And the respect that you get is based on the fact that you perform so well, no one would ever guess. Sound like a trans person. Bitches sound like you trans. Sound like you transsexual. Bitch, sound like you the real transsexual. Sound like you the real transsexual. Would a real transsexual stand up? Because your sexuality is transforming. You could eat some noonie pie with your eyes closed. Because you a whole throat goat. Sucking on a little glick, putting a little noonie pie tip in your mouth. That's why that's why y'all making viral videos doing this. Because really, honestly and truly, if you could do that to the noonie pot, what can you do to a Snicker bar? If you could open your mouth and stick your tippy tongue all the way out and do all of these tricks with your tongue on the noonie pot, what can you do to a damn Klondike bar? Huh? And see, this the question that a lot of women don't be asking. And that's the crazy thing. I don't understand why a lot of females who identify with, they be like, I want to know, I want to learn, I'm trying to understand, and I just need to know. In 2025, you still insecure, you still asking questions, but it's normal to you to see two women scissoring. Two women kissing. That's normal. And I know this because I know a lot of bisexual women who really honestly be upset when they find out that their man get down with the get down. But girl, you a whole bisexual. So the patriarchy and hegemony have done that much to you that you're disgusted by his sexual liberation. And then another thing that get me with y'all, and y'all and a lot of y'all ain't gonna like this. Another thing that get me with y'all is that y'all will sit up here and say, you will never be me, you wanna be me, but you will never be a real woman. I was made to be with him. Well, baby, if you was made to be with him, why do you need somebody to expose him? You mean to tell me you could carry his child, a part of his DNA inside of your body, and you can't sit when this man like a little bit more on his plate than what you have to offer? You so made for him, you so his other half, but you need him to be exposed. You didn't feel it in your, you're his helpmate. You're his rib. You came from this man. You're a part of this man. You two are one, you're one flesh. And your flesh didn't tell you. I don't understand how y'all don't feel it, because I know every time mine was doing something extra on me, I felt it in my gut. I was so connected with him, I knew. I used to be able to, the days that it happened. But girl, you're his rib though. You're his other half, girl. You're carrying his children. And you can't sense, you can't feel when this man, you need trans women and gay men to expose these men. Is it that you don't know or you want to pretend you don't know? You just trying to be entertained. Cause baby, you're a real woman. Don't you have intuition? What's up with the intuition, Fat? Where's the woman's intuition? Hey, Fatima, where's the woman's intuition, Fat? You didn't feel it. Something in my soul ain't right. I can't sleep at night, wondering a change is gonna come. Feeling that I'm not the only one. You ain't feel you wasn't the only one, bitch. You didn't feel that you wasn't the only one? He didn't do anything to you that might have sent up a red flag that, or you just so freaky that the stuff that he doing to you, you have no questions about what sparked this. You so wrapped up in the illusion, you so wrapped up in the lie, you so wrapped up in it that, like, when women be talking about gaydar, it's crazy how some biological females and cis women will talk about gaydar. Then they will talk about, you know, their intuition, and they will talk about their ability, you know, just really just talk about, you know, how they're connected, you know, as women. And for y'all to miss so much, for you to be shocked when your child come out to be trans, or when your child come out to be gay, or when your child come out to be down low, for you to just be so shocked, for you to find out that your brother or your daddy or your uncle or your man have homosexual tendencies or is bisexual, for you to be so shocked. I'm like, What you channeling? Is it maternal energy? Because mothers can sense. Intuitively, you can feel when something's going on in your child. If it's coming in you and going out you, the babies come out you and the men go in you. So what's going on? One coming out you and the other one going in you, and you're shocked and you're surprised. What's going on with the connection? The wires crossed. Somehow the wires done cross, the tables done turn. Never knew I had such a lesson to learn. I'm feeling good from my head to my shoe. Somehow the wires done cross, the tables were turned. Baby, you didn't know? Diana Ross said, do you know what you're going through? Do you like the things that I've been showing you? What are you going through? Didn't you know? Hold on. I'm going to be right back. Yes, child. I had to get back on here. I had to get back on here and talk some more because when I found out that the place where they having a conference is also where the viral DL list got everybody shook. Come on, set it off, blonde Jada braids. Yeah, got everybody shook. Somebody has sent me I think Aaliyah was doing some coverage. Leah was doing some coverage on the DLs, and she had showed me the video about Choice TV, and then you sent it to me. I was like, no way. So the DL list is going down. So the DL list is going down in Texas too. Beyonce said this ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em. Well, child, so lay your cards down. Well, child, is that what they doing in Texas, baby? Ain't no hold'em. Bitch, it ain't no hold'em. And my thing is with, like I said earlier, trans women exposing, it's always a conversation about, are you a real woman, or you're saying you're a woman but you're exposing these men. I don't see that any difference of a female coming out and saying, even though I do think that a lot of trans women who do things like that rest more in their masculine energy, rest more in the programming, like they change physically, but they rest more in their masculine energy. I feel like they do, but it's no different than a white woman exposing a black man for liking white women. It's no different than a big girl exposing a man for liking big girls. So let that argument go that the exposing automatically makes you a male. automatically makes you a man. Like, that's some patriarchal stuff. That's patriarchy. But we're going to be honest. We're going to play the whole tape. The need to do that does signify that you're resting more in your masculine energy. Because even when beings who are born with wombs, if you're doing it because you're a white woman or you're a heavyset woman, you're doing it because that's a masculine energy. That's a, yeah, nah, you ain't. I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna let them know. F that, they about to find out today. You channeling your forefathers. Very masculine energy. And my thing is with the exposing, we know it's a culture of dog eat dog. It's a culture of throwing the other person under the bus. When you enter into a contract with these men, and I'm not justifying their actions, I'm definitely not justifying their behavior. That's why I don't mess with them at all. But when you accept money from these men in the shadows, when you accept that currency from these men in the shadows, you have contractually decided to forego respect. And respect is the thing that makes him fight for you. Respect is the thing that makes him stand up for you. Because I've had men to stand up for me. And the men who stood up for me because of how I carried myself. Once they feel like, if they feel like nobody respect you, if they see you, unfortunately, this is a patriarchal society. Prostitution, there's not a sacred whore. Now, I honor prostitution. I honor great people who have to do survival, have to do that kind of work in order to sustain themselves. But let's be clear, America does not value the sacred whore. There's no such thing as a sacred whore. They belittle you, anything having to do with it. Escorting, stripping. And so the contractual agreement that you make with these men in a hegemonic society is that when you lay with them behind the scenes and they give you that money, they give you that currency, they give you that promissory note, you're saying that I consent to you not acknowledging me publicly. I consent to you not protecting me publicly. I consent to you not standing up for me. I consent to you not fighting for me. I give consent when the money exchanges hands. It is an agreement that the things that you have done to me in the shadows, I accept. I accept this arrangement. The money is an agreement. And so when you accept that agreement, when you accept that arrangement, and then you decide that you want to take to social media and you want to go on an outing spree, not saying that's what she did because I haven't seen her video, so I don't know what the nature of her video was. I haven't seen her direct content. But when you accept the money off camera, when you accept the funds, you are giving consent to the arrangement that he don't have to speak to you in public. He don't have to, oh, somebody talking about trans people, I'm finna defend trans people. He gave you some of the money that he worked hard for. He went to work, he earned a check, he shared some of those earnings with you. And what y'all did, it was two consenting adults. Here's some money. The highest token I could give you within this system. And then if he really like you, he might let you be the first one to climb his back. He might let you be the first one that he deep throat. Child, I didn't intend to keep the hair on. It was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be a key, like I was gonna snatch it off. But girl, I started living for the hair low key. But it was really, I was supposed to take it off. I didn't get my pick, but I was supposed to take it off and start picking my hair. But girl, I started living for it low key. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I really like it. Yeah, but girl, my skin is giving me some, it ain't giving me it's we having explosions in the mug. But all in all, I'm grateful. Mm-hmm. Ain't no hold 'em. We expose them. Very desperately masculine of them to pull that off. But you know what it is, low key. DL Men's Karma. It is that it is. I think this is a positive thing. I think that the trans women who are being used to do this, and even the cis women who are being used to push this conversation forward, I think this is a I think that this is a delicate time. And I think that this is an opportunity to heal. This is an opportunity to forgive ourselves for the hateful things that we have said. Like the things that I'm saying in this video, baby, I know how some of these men can take it. I know some of these men can take 15 and 16 inches. I know some of these men who act the most masculine throat goats. This is not me shaming you. This is just me saying what it is. That's not shaming you. That's saying what it is. Own it. No one's saying I don't love you. No one's saying I don't care about you. No one's saying I don't respect you. I respect you as a human being. I respect you as a person as long as you're respecting me. But you're not going to treat me like you're less than me because you have dick and balls and society recognizes you as a man. See, that's where y'all got everything messed up. You want me to exalt you because you're hiding. You want me to put you on a pedestal, and you want me to see you as you want me to put you above me. And that's where you got it messed up at. I'm not putting a man above me. I'm not putting a female above me. I'm not putting neither one of y'all above me. Because half of y'all, I believe, are halflings. But I'm not going to disrespect you until you disrespect me. No matter how I feel about you or what I think of you, I'm going to keep that to myself until you play in my face. It's called decorum. It's called tact. It's called class. It's called grace. If you respect me, I'll respect you. But you don't get to go around here and take more penis in your anal cavity and be the throat goat and not be able to stand on business for who you are. And so I think that we're in a very good season. And if we could just approach this conversation delicately and create an environment where these males can be more whole, we can push ourselves towards evolution, and we could begin to overturn some of these laws and some of these policies that are negatively impacting trans people, beings who are born with wombs and identify with womanhood, beings who are born with wombs and don't identify with womanhood, beings who are born with wombs and identify as non-binary. Like, we could have protections, even trans men, because I'm sure, well, I don't know if trans men around here want to get abortions, but I'm not going to say that's impossible. I feel like when trans men get pregnant, they get pregnant on purpose. Like, that's what they were trying to do. But hey, maybe there's a demographic of trans men who it was an accident. So I just want us to live in a world where we respect autonomy. Because I used to have a very different opinion about abortion. As a person who was not able to conceive and carry in this particular incarnation, I used to have a negative viewpoint of women who had abortions. I used to see it as murder. I used to see it as unaliving. But now I understand that if the being who is carrying, for whatever reason, does not have the bandwidth, does not have the mental, emotional, and spiritual capacity to cultivate an environment where the being that is coming here through them can have an optimum experience, then it is a kindness to not allow that vessel to finish developing. Because yeah, it is a few moments where that fetus will suffer. That fetus feels some discomfort because they say it turns into a heartbeat as soon as it hits the womb. But sweetheart, allowing that energy to be dispersed in the womb and return into the universe and reincarnate somewhere where it could be appreciated, where it could be nurtured, where it could be loved, where it could be cared for, where it could have another experience, a greater, I have respect for that. Because that child could come here and suffer so much mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical trauma coming through the womb of a being who does not have capacity. Coming through the womb of a being that does not have the range. It is a kindness. It is a divine act. It is divine conscience to say, I cannot give this being what it needs. This world is dangerous. This world already has its opinion. Depending on who you are, if you're a black woman, if you're a woman living in poverty, if you're a trans masculine being, and you may be worried about your child being queer. If you're a lesbian, you may be worried about your child being queer. You may not have resources. You may not have the bandwidth. And yes, in a perfect world, you would have used the condom. In a perfect world, you would have had on some type of, you would have been taking your shot. You would have did what you needed to do to not get pregnant. But we are human. Child, I was laying down with these men unprotected, knowing that they could fill me with the nothingness. And they did. How can I get mad at you for getting caught with your drawers down and getting pregnant when I got caught with my drawers down and let them hit me with that work. Let them put that in my blood. Put it in your stomach, put it in my blood. And I got to carry this until I leave here or until I do a nasty old fast and purge myself of all this. Right now, I'm just dealing with it. It is what it is. Hey, Yumi. Why the girls continue to collect monthly hush money payments by these dusty ass punks. These dusty ass bums. And you know, that's part of the reason why we're in the situation that we're in. The world will never know the dick ain't even all that, and they ain't even that bright and don't contribute nothing for your life. They just drain you and give you biscuit scraps and feel like they done gave you a lot because, you know, some of them have to work hard for them little crumbs. Because a lot of them, simps and slaves. Girls will sign that punk contract expeditiously, is giving butch queens hiding under the trans girl's identity just to creatively make business arrangements with DL punks. Girl, I ain't even talking about the hair. I'm talking about the look. You did that. Oh, thank you, baby. Doing all this just to rock climb DL. Yeah. And these niggas making awkward seal noises at 3 a.m. at the Red Roof Inn. Girl! Water in the corner, Nadia. Nadia. Now you one of my moderators. I won't have to put you in contempt of court, girl. Girl, not seal noises, girl. At 3 a.m. at the Red Roof Inn, girl, I'm not about to do this with you. Even if DL men love trans women, don't expect them to stand up for you as a trans girl. He can't feel like he can stand up for himself. It ain't always that he don't love trans women either. Let's be clear. Can we be super clear? They don't stand up for females. We yet to have a female president, a pope. They don't trust them to lead anything but the house. And some of them won't let them lead the house. They don't stand up for women. They don't stand up for the ones who carry their children. Now, in a fight in the streets, if another dude is disrespecting a woman, yeah. But in a government way, in a policy way, in a law way, they don't stand up for females. They don't stand up for womb bearers. They don't stand up for cis women. So, if they don't even stand up for them in a way that changes the landscape for them in society, and these are the ones that they're taking vows with. These are the ones that they're creating families with. And so when I hear trans women play the victim, it's like you knew what it was hitting for coming in. Please don't tell me that you jumped in face, that you jumped in geesh without researching the terrain, without studying your environment, without getting some predictions on the trajectory of the landscape. Not you shocked and surprised and appalled, because it's given patriarchy, that you think that he's supposed to do things for you that he wasn't even doing for this being that's supposed to be his rib, that's supposed to be his helpmate, that was allegedly made for him. He ain't even doing everything that he could do to get her in the White House. He ain't even doing everything he could do to get her into the top positions of the church. He don't even want her to have that much power. So why would he want you to have it? When in many cases, he thinks less of you than he thinks of her. And unfortunately, a lot of times, the trans women who get respect from DL men are the trans women who secretly see themselves as men. The trans women who get respect from DL men are the trans women who secretly see themselves as a part of the brotherhood. Trans women who say things like, I'll never get my penis cut off because it's my connection to God. It's how I get him on the line. That's why I will never get rid of my penis, because it's my connection to God. He respect you because at the end of the day, he feel like if it ever come down to the matriarch or the patriarch, you still gonna rock with him because you serving the Lord. You take it to the Father. You worship him. He's a provider. Won't he do it? He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. He knows that he could depend on you for that encouragement, for that endorsement. Those are the type of trans women these men oftentimes respect. The one that he secretly sees as his brother, as his homeboy. Now, I have gotten respect from men who were raised, I think, by good mothers, who had like strong women in their life, strong sisters. And don't get me wrong, not all of them are like that, because as I said in this video, I've had men to protect me. And I damn sure don't see myself as no man. I damn sure don't see myself like that. I know I have it in me. I'm not ashamed of that connection, but that's not how I see myself. And so I've had men to defend me. So I'm not going to say that all of them are like that. There are some men who genuinely respect you because they respect women, but it's not enough of them. A lot of them that say they respect women is lip service because women support them. Women subscribe to them. Women give them resources. They say it. They simp. They simp for the purpose of maintaining their power. They're going to get on a video and say, the woman is the blueprint. The woman is a goddess. The woman is divine. And then right after that video over, they finna go dap off their homeboy and they finna talk about the brotherhood and patriarchy. But I just went viral. Standing in front of the camera, licking my lips with muscles. Some nice ass dreadlocks. Skin looking good. Licking your lips. The black woman. It ain't nothing like her. The black woman is goddess. The black woman, he gonna do a video blowing smoke up your ass. But then when it's time for him to put his money where his mouth is, when it's time for him to, I got my boots on the ground for your rights. And I don't really feel too bad for black women because a lot of black women use the LGBT community the same way. You throw your own children away. Your own brothers and sisters, your own siblings away. You don't show up for your own siblings. You throw your own children and your own siblings away, but you want these dudes, these ninjas, to be ready to go to war for you, and you ain't even showing up for your siblings and your children. So you don't get too many cookies. You reap what you sow. Neglect breeds neglect. And we not here to say what came first, the chicken or the egg, or play the blame game. When you know better, you do better. Period. This ain't what came first, the chicken or the egg. It's I know better. I understand the toxic role that I'm playing and how I'm contributing to this situation in a way that's not healthy. What am I doing to try to reverse this or to try to end this cycle? What can I do? Stop waiting on him to lead you. Because look at how that's worked out for you. It's led you into Roe versus Wade being overturned. It's led you into potentially losing your right to vote because you're married. It's led you into having your autistic children possibly be researched so that they can be othered and possibly exterminated. It's led you to have your queer children potentially become targets, painted as delusional, painted as mentally unstable, and being able to be exterminated. This is what waiting on him to lead. This is where it has gotten you. Remember, you are whole. We are our mothers and our fathers, our grandmothers and our grandfathers, our ancestors, our great-grandmothers and our great-grandfathers, and our ancestors who did not subscribe to these constructs. So it is within you to lead you. Stop waiting on a man to lead you, because it's the same thing as waiting on a savior. How you gonna wait on a savior who waiting on a savior? Girl, not the chain of command. Not I gotta go through my husband, who gotta go through the pastor, who then talks to God. order in the court. I got to go through my husband, who got to go through the pastor, who then got to go to God in prayer. So you got to go through two men, and you wonder why. You wonder why. Harriet Tubman said, I freed 1,000, and I would have freed 1,000 more had they known they were slaves. And while I'm of the mind that we are not sent here to free each other, we are sent here to liberate ourselves and model that liberation for others. But if you are not willing, like I could lead you to water, but I can't make you drink it. I could show you how to get there. I could give you directions and everything. But if you ain't ready to take that journey, you're not going to go. And all I'm going to say is, stop trying to blame everybody else because you scared to take that walk. I talked about that at the beginning of the video, and they want you to do it because black women do on a daily when all these dudes are cowards. So many of them. The peasant halflings get put on no pedestals but the gutter where they reside. It's time to stop putting them on pedestals. Look where it's gotten us. UB say not throat gold. Those DL niggas having Amtrak's ran on them like it's no tomorrow. Greyhound and trailways take you home for the holidays. This commercial was brought to you by Thirsty Halflings. A party ain't a party unless it's ran all through. Now let's get back to the show. I want a penectomy. What is that? I'm just asking, is it fair to out someone who's not ready to walk in their true self or whatever reason? It took us all time to accept who we are and walk in it. I'm just saying. So, so as I said, if you enter into a contract with these men, when you lay down with them, knowing what their standpoint is, if you give into your lust for their physical appearance, or you see them as something that you could use for capital, that's an agreement. You gave into your lust. You knew who they were. You gave into your lust. And you laid with them knowing that they may never, like I said at the beginning of the video, there are men who are not sleeping with women. There are men who are legit on the down low who are not having sex with anything but men. But they're not ready to lose how people see them. Because once you say you're gay, once you say you're bisexual, society is conditioned to start picturing you with a penis in your mouth and a penis in your booty hole. And this is a hegemonic society. And so seeing women scissor, seeing women eat each other box, licking and lapping and kissing on each other, that's socially acceptable in this society. But, you know, seeing a man, you know what I'm saying? Getting his back plunged, getting his throat, getting his throat rearranged. We have been conditioned in this society You want your ass beat? Huh? You want your ass beat? You want? Huh? You need to go in your cage? And now we're back from the commercial break. We have been conditioned by society. Yeah, go watch TV. That's right. That's right. Watch a TV show. We have been conditioned by society to view that in a way that is diminishing. And they've helped to cultivate that because it's very European. It's very Roman. It's very Caucasus to view femininity and to view womanhood as something less than. And a lot of black men have been programmed to see being in contact with their femininity because this society, when Massa was grooming him on the plantation, Massa told him he was a fine stallion. He was a specimen. He was a beast. He was a gorilla. Massa told him, oh, look at that one. That's a big one. Oh, he's so masculine. Oh, he's a beast. And so this gave him this mindset. Yeah, we like to believe that that is something that originates in African culture. But we have to remember that Africa has been colonized too. Femininity was never viewed as something that was diminishable. It was never a yuck. It was never a ooh. It was never ain't no hoe in me. Like, it was beautiful. You can still see the remnants of it in Africa because in Africa you see the men are more flexible in their fashion. The males do things all the time that in America would be viewed as gay, and they naturally do it. In parts of Africa where they're less indoctrinated, where they're less colonized, males blur gender lines, and it's not looked at as feminine. It's not looked at as sissified. You could go into the village where they haven't been colonized, and child, you could get some of the men and the women confused. Literally, you could get the males and the females confused. The females look tough and ready for war, and the men look tough and ready for war, and everybody's skin is smooth and silky and glowing because they eating off the land. You could go into some villages and you can't tell the males from the females till you look at the damn breasts. Dress code ain't no different. They have tribes in Africa where they paint their face and it look like American makeup. So it's very European. See, the reason why they had a queen over there is because that was a crucial part of sustaining patriarchy, was to have a white womb bearer that was so invested in white supremacy and patriarchy that she channeled everything that all of the kings before her. And this is the interesting thing. People think that when a woman gets to be the president of the United States here, she's going to be weak or something. The same way Queen Elizabeth in her day when she had power before Parliament took over, the same way Queen Elizabeth was a beast, that's the same thing America gonna get when they finally let a woman get in that office. Because the woman that take that office is going to try to be as much man as she possibly can be with a vagina. The pressure to be accepted by the boys club, the pressure to be accepted, because any woman that's running for politics now, you know what you're dealing with. And the pressure to be accepted, you're going to move just like they move. I don't feel like a female politician could have too many original thoughts or too many original strategies, because the only examples that she's had is men. The only examples that she's seen in political power in America is men. And so that within itself is programming. And so the same way the Queen of Elizabeth had a vagina, so we're told. I ain't never seen up under there. I don't know. But the Queen of Elizabeth had a vagina, and the Queen of Elizabeth fully embodied white supremacy and patriarchy, capitalism and elitism. Putting the masses down here while the few were up here. Totally align it with hegemony. Totally in line with it. And they knew, because white people, I think the programming is a little bit more intense, because white people see images of themselves doing dishonest, corrupt, fascist, white supremacist, colonialist. Like they're constantly seeing images of themselves doing everything that is responsible for the oppression of so many minorities. And so every day they're seeing that through a lens that normalizes it. Through a lens that says, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm going to do it with a smile. I'm going to talk really nice. I'm going to use some big words to justify all of the absolutely fuck shit I'm doing. And I'm going to use really, really big words. I'm going to do it with a smile. I'm going to be very tactful. I'm going to be very polite. I'm going to have a good pitch. But at the same time, I'm promoting capitalism, I'm promoting colonialism, I'm promoting sexism, I'm promoting transphobia, I'm promoting homophobia, I'm promoting misogyny, I'm promoting all of the things. And I'm going to do this in a way that is polite. I'm going to be polite. And so it's normalized because of how strategically it's done. And they get this programming every day. They see, y'all talk about how representation matters, but let's take a moment to unpack representation in this particular reality. What type of representation is it, Fat? Cause does representation matters when you're representing the people who are responsible for the oppression of the poor and working class? When you're representing people who align with discriminating against misogynistic people, transphobic people, homophobic people, people who align with genocide. Like, does representation matter when you're seeing likenesses of yourself who are playing into, who have bought into the corruption? Discernment matters. Integrity matters. And I don't need to see that on a big screen. I need to see that in community. I don't need to see it on the main stage. I just need to see it. Authenticity, integrity. Y'all always be saying representation matters, representation matters. But what kind of representation is it? And this is where I empathize for Caucasian people. Because every day their mind is flooded with imagery that programs them to normalize injustice, unconstitutional acts, to uphold religious and political views that oppress so many demographics of people. And it's so politely done. And so when y'all say representation matters, I want you to play the whole tape with that. Because they got a lot of representation of them normalizing some really sick and detestable things. A little bit too much representation. And it's like we want more representation in the fuckery. But child, I'm gonna get off that nerve. It's not fair, Miss Lady, but let's keep it a buck. These niggas are predators and thrive in secret without any accountability, gambling their secret in risk of exposure. So when they get it, yeah. So I mean, you get what you get. It's consequences for everything that we do. Again, if it was a perfect world, When I would have laid down with that man, the universe would have said, you know what? The universe would have said, the universe would have said, you know what? She young. You know, they ain't got their critical thinking matter yet. We gonna go ahead and we gonna show them some grace. They young, they ain't got their critical thinking matter yet. You know, every man that she's with, you know, he's gonna be honest with her and he's gonna tell her, you know, if he's positive or not, and give her the decision to decide, you know, if she want to use the condom or if she want to go ahead and take this risk. And you know, like in a perfect world, that's what would happen. In a perfect world, when a woman lays down with a man and she's in love with him, if she's not meant to have a baby with him, you know what I'm saying? They'll have all the conversations that they need to have prior so that she can make a decision if she still want to give in to that passion and that love, and if she still want to take a chance and take a chance on getting pregnant. Take a chance on having to go through the trauma of aborting a child. Because even though you know that you don't have the range or the capacity for that child, if you are a sentient, feeling, empathic being, then of course you're going to feel some type of way having to abort a part that's growing inside of you. And so if this was a perfect world, conversations that need to be had would be had, and we would be able to avoid some of, you know, these womb bearers feeling the need to have to go and get an abortion. A lot of us queer people and females, we would be able to avoid getting the nothingness in a perfect world. Like Aaliyah Bad said in her video, when you do things, they come with a risk factor. And so when you're messing with a population of people, and this is not a justification for trans people who feel the need to do that to males, but what are you expecting from trans people when the government does not value them? When the church does not value them? When society has said that we are delusional? When society has said we have a mental illness? When society has thrown all of these labels, where are y'all expecting for all this high morality to come from? How are you mathematically expecting that to be an outcome? Oh, I'm going to take the high road and I'm going to do the right thing when it legit has never been modeled for me. I don't live in a society that values my contributions enough to not take away my human rights. I don't live in a society that values me enough to respect me for who I say I am. So why are y'all expecting for trans people to take the high moral ground? Who's modeling that? So they're just supposed to pull it out their ass. You can't authentically give something. You can't. We was talking about this in another live. You can't give grace if you don't have it. If it's never been modeled for you, if it's never been shown to you, if people don't have the grace to respect you as who you say you are, to treat you with respect, if your government doesn't have grace for you, If the church doesn't have grace for you, if your community, cis people don't have grace for you, then where are you getting this grace from? And this is not an excuse because some of us intuitively know better. But I just want to be realistic and play the whole tape. Because y'all be expecting trans people to just be able to take the high ground and to always be able to make these morally upstanding choices when really, honestly, and truly, a lot of times they're just a product of their environment. We live in a culture of bad girls club, baddies, love and hip hop, housewives. We've been living through this culture, the Kardashians. We've been living through this culture for the last 10 years. Celebrities getting on the internet and exposing each other and telling each other business. The Cat Williams, the Cardi B's, the Tasha K's. We live in an era of influencers jumping on the internet and telling people business and exposing people business for views and likes. How do you expect trans people not, you expect black trans women not to play their Uno card? Girl, make it make sense. Mm-hmm. Child. She probably gonna stay out of face for a little while. Bitch, I'll come all the way out of face. I hope she left town. And it's got me feeling real funny about, them having a meeting here, them having a conference and things there after this whole, hot button issue done been set off. Girl, when I tell you, me is having a whole other conversation in the chat. Baby, you is really trying to get to know Miss Lady, huh? Me, let me find out that you a little lesbian and you trying to shoot your shot. Cause you be giving me the vibe. Not that I'm judging. But girl, you done sidetracked the whole conversation with talking to Miss Lady. Like you having a whole nother conversation in the chat about Miss Lady. Now let me find out that you think this Badu. Let me find out you think there's plenty of fish. Order in the court. Let me find out you trying to swipe left in the comment section. They want to strip women down to their holes and nothing more. Fatima said, clock it. Because at the end of the day, men recognize other men. Right. Jesus Christ is an idol. There's no other God but one God. God Goddess. I believe in the Mother Father. I believe there's a lot of deities, but I believe that there's one source, one starting point. A man, a woman. And it all comes from that starting point. Punks clock other punks in a millisecond. Yep, I agree, Anandia. Homeboy with a 28 piece. Ashe Fatima. I was glad that you were protected by men. I know on 2 cases I remember your story. Yes, lip service. A lot of halfling women will literally sell their children for monetary and materialistic gain. Jesus Christ was created by Greeks and Romans and white Roman Catholic men whose scribes wrote him up in invention. Picasso, aka Joseph Flatius, aka Jesus Christ, LOL. Christianity was browbeaten into our black Israelite ancestors. Pagan Christianity is idolatry, like Esther. The letter J wasn't even invented until later. Yeah, like 500 or 600 years after. Um, yeah, and that's why they say his name was really Yahshua, throwing their LGBT children out to become vulnerable prey. Yeah, how you waiting on a savior that's dead? Well, child, they say he coming back, not knowing that he's come back. I don't know how many times, because that energy lives in all of us. That the Christ one has been back here, baby. Christ is the actual Christ, Christhood, Christ frequency, Christ energy is moving through so many of us right now. That energy comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. That energy is ever present. And people so is into, like the Bible says, thou shalt not make idols of men. Didn't Jesus come down here and take on the flesh? Didn't Jesus become a man? And y'all made an idol of a man. Make that make sense, Fat? Y'all can't even see how this being then came and left and came and left and then moved through so many of us. Y'all can't even see that. Our ancestors were hung and beat with whips, fire hose, had dogs chase them, have to go through 2 dicks to get saved. My goodness, they gotta run a train on you for you to get saved. You gotta do a threesome to get saved. And don't talk about if the pastor gotta go to the bishop. Now you gotta go through your husband, who gotta go through the pastor, who gotta go through the bishop, who then can beseech the good Lord. Sound like a gangbang, a spiritual gangbang to me. Waiting for massa to transport them to another punctation. God never gave Jesus any power. I go straight to God, not Jesus, to get to him. Waiting for a chain is godless behavior. Hey, room. Hey, S-Child. People think you crazy when you tell them the truth. They've been deceived. It's giving DL hide and seek. It's giving bad yams. It's very Alexander the Poke. Right. When you look at women as beneath you, when you look at feminine beings as less than, it's very Alexander the Punk. Alexander the Punkiest. Very much. The buck breaking on the plantation. Told him, you a big old strong man. You's a big strong nigger. Oh, they don't make a specimen like that. Look at him. Look at his arms. Look at his shoulders. Look at his head. Oh, and he hung like a horse. He's gonna make some fine workers, some fine little baby workers for us up on this plantation. Look at him. He's a specimen. Had him bucked up. Strutting. Come back. They done bragged on him and they done told him what a nice strapping man he is. And so now he walking around and he thinking. And see, they had homosexual lust in their hearts. And you know, a lot of them were homosexuals. And they did that and they hated themselves for needing to do that. So they had the ones that they loved, that they created bonds of loyalty with, so that they could satisfy their physical needs when they were off at war. And you know, sometimes they couldn't trust the women because the women could be infiltrating on behalf of the society that they was trying to conquer. So they couldn't always trust the woman because the woman may be trying to wait for her moment to unalive him. Because you're trying to take over her people. So, you know, if you want to be able to be relaxed with the woman, you don't want to have to just always grape her and take her. You want her to want to give it to you willingly. But unfortunately, sometimes wanting that can mean gambling with your life, because if she see her moment, she could unalive you in that moment of vulnerability. And so they would sleep with each other to satisfy those physical urges. And they develop bonds with each other. But in order to secure the bloodline, we're seeing that play out now. A lot of them would rather be with each other. But if they're with each other, then their bloodline will die off in this reality. They will lose power in this reality. So they have to have relationships with them women, because that is necessary to continue that bloodline. That's necessary. They have to. And so they have to demonize it. They have to demonize the act. They have to make the act so vile and detestable, a man, a woman, that enough of them will be programmed to go and lie with the women, so that they can continue to breed and have that particular incarnation of humanity in this 3D dimension in order to maintain their power. Yeah, the Europeans, because they are outnumbered by Nubian, Negro, melanated people, they gotta push home that message of homosexuality is detestable and is disgusting, and any relationship that is not able to produce workers, slaves, minions, any relationship that is not able to produce them, then they have to condemn that because their existence is threatened. Their very existence is in the balance. So they can't be around here condoning homosexuality and condoning all this transness because it is reducing the chances that they will continue the bloodline. Melanin will absorb it all. And they don't want that. The prodigal son is not ready to return home. The prodigal son is having a ball out there in them streets. Not ready to come home and have that melanin absorb it. Not ready. And see, when you pay attention to them and you look at their skin, you could literally see the melanated undertones in their skin. It doesn't matter how white some of them are. You could see the freckles. Freckles is melanin, it's pigmentation. You could see the undertones. You could see the melanin undertones in even the palest people. And so it's definitely eugenics. And it definitely they need to keep it going. They need to. They had queens in their European caves. They're not ready for feminine power. Messiah and the Fulani and the other East African tribes where the men wear makeup to attract a mate, a full beat. You better get. That's what I love about you for the baby. You better give us. You better name the tribes. Where the men wear makeup to attract a mate, a full beat. I've seen some of those videos. Beat. Beat for the gods. Child, massa, baby, they buck break each other and still perform masculinity. Have you been watching Ruthless? Child, that's the challenge in this day and age, to see how many times you could get your back climbed and still give trade. Still give one more dirty old trade piece. How deep can you get dug off in? How you can unhinge your jaw like a python, throat goat, bottomless pit Grand Canyon cookies, and then turn around and give trade realness. Thug passion. I heard it's the bomb and you got it going on. Give me some of that thug passion, baby. How you could get that back climbed. How you could get them cookies dug off in. How you could get that cavity explored. And still give us first time walking at a ball. No, not first time walking at a ball. Legendary trade piece. Cakes disheveled. Squeezing your booty muscles to keep fluids from running into your underwear because your anal cavity is like a tunnel that is gaping, saying, hello, is it me you're looking for? But you are giving iconic, legendary trade piece real serving. You better say that. She's not leading in her authentic intuition because she doesn't have any self-awareness. This reality isn't designed for them to have it of herself, except for the man that programs her perception of what they expect her to be and act. And trans women, a lot of times, because we are born with a penis, we don't even do the work. We just automatically resonate. A lot of us will resonate with the toxicness of male culture, but then put a wig and some titties on it. And because we go through some scrutiny because of being bold enough to do that, we feel entitled. We feel like we've been through something, but at the same time, a lot of us are upholding the same toxic rhetoric. These girls out here these girls go and get some implants and give you some good lace and get called a few punks and fags and feels like that justifies them being toxic because they do have some skin in the game. But in reality, you are a punk because you have not evolved mentally. In reality, you are reading from a chapter in Fagulations. Because you have not done that work on yourself inwardly. You're helping to uphold oppression and patriarchy because you subscribe to that Father God rhetoric. TS token representation out of the LGBT, the T gets it the worst with transphobia are soulless infants in the story of humanity and are the first thought form of homunculus artificial intelligence, therefore not of the breath of life Yahweh Ra, but of that of Ashatan. But you know, Ashatan came from Yahweh, and Yahweh came from Sophia. and or Tiamat or Gaia. And so some people say that Yahweh had some maternal issues because of how Yahweh was birthed. Yahweh wasn't all the way healed, and Yahweh needs to heal. And I think that's why we see the virgin mother with the male baby, because in the grand scheme of things, if we really look at it how we're supposed to look at it, that image is showing us that infinitely feminine energy is older than masculine energy. Feminine energy gave birth to masculine energy. And I think that's what, because I find it interesting that deity wise, we don't see likenesses of male deities or deities who are depicted as men holding little girls, holding infant females. But one of the major archetypes that is imprinted in our mind is this immaculate birth and this child that is a young male entity. And so celestially, it provides an opportunity to have a conversation about which energy, which frequency is the elder. And the divine feminine, I mean, like that picture of Jesus, which they say is what Isis, and is it Isis and is it Horus and Isis? But that image really speaks to something celestially. It really speaks to this idea that the divine feminine was the purple print, was the wholeness print. Like masculinity existed inside of the divine feminine, and the divine feminine sort of like with Adam and Eve pulled from itself to birth a more concentrated. The being was still whole, the being was still androgynous, the being was still masculine and feminine, but the being was more masculine than feminine. And so the being didn't have the capacity to carry. But the being was still whole. And this is not a conversation that I feel like we are having clearly. It is an expression of the divine feminine, but it was purposely created not to carry, because the divine mother wanted this aspect of herself to have a different function. And maybe the divine mother felt like this would be an opportunity to evolve. The divine mother wanted to see themselves in a way that was not subject to the things that their body had to be subjugated to. Because again, it was an immaculate conception, so there was no intimacy. So Now, I think that artificial intelligence is capable of becoming sentient. And the reason why I say this is because I believe in evolution. And so I do think that what we call Caucasians are the last, are the babies of humanity, are the babies of civilization. And for me, when I see one that is trying, when I see one that is sincerely trying, I do have patience with them and I do have grace for them. When I see they're trying and they're legitimately respecting me and they're legitimately because my son really honestly um we have our little words, but genuinely treats me with a lot of respect. Like genuinely treats me with a lot of respect. And I have a lot of patience for him because I know the level of indoctrination and the level of programming he's facing. And I also know that they don't have access to as much melanin as we do, which helps us to be able to process things. And unfortunately, some of us with melanin, we got it for nothing. Like I see people with buku melanin that's even that it don't even make no sense. It's like, why do you even have it? Like, is it working? Is it on? Is this thing recording? And I had to quote that bitch. Is it on? Is this thing recording, bitch? Fuck. They only show the colonial comical parody version of black halflings, but will never the sovereign authenticity of us, but will replace that part with white people. And that's what we see a lot of. I'm gonna watch Sinners because I hear a lot of people talking about it. I don't really do horror, but I'm gonna watch it because everybody is raving over it. Child, these Negroes be pontificating over everything, child. But I'm gonna watch it and see what it's giving. These halfling Negroes be pontificating over everything. I haven't seen Fatima in a long time. Father God, idol, Jesus, little lowercase g, for the idol God. Speaking of predators, have you heard of that Atlanta Street interview? Negro dude who preys on underage, trafficked, homeless, and oftentimes on substances to cope. So-called so-called black women. Wait, no, I haven't. So if they doing that to them, what are these demons going to do to us, the perfect target, scapegoat, and society, to our own so-called families, and I quote, disposable, degenerate trash? Because that's definitely how they feel. Kardashians. Meanwhile, the father didn't find a goddamn thing, stole, ravaged, and pilfered everything they could. You better say that. Big Brother reality TV. She better shapeshift. Okay, for her survival, for her safety. I'm bisexual. I said I'm bisexual. Well, there you have it. I know you was bisexual, girl. I was being crazy. I was being silly. But that ain't why I wanted to see her channel. Ugh. no record or documentation outside of the Bible that attached to an end and named it. I mean, I think that the being existed in some other way. Yes, it does, Mother, and they will kill and reject him every time. And in this lifetime, that Christ conscious will probably transmute in that Christ conscious will probably transmute in black trans women, but I guess we shall never know. But I guess we shall never know a black man unalived her. If we don't get a chance to see it. I mean, I think that the Christ consciousness has its way of showing up in all of us. Like I think it's gonna manifest collectively. You know, it may not come all concentrated in one being, you know. It may come collectively, you know. It may show up, you know, maybe a little bit in me, a little bit in this person, a little bit in that person, a little bit in that person. And then when we come together, honey, it's giving Voltron tea. So, you know, it may not be, you know, like when you try one route, strategy tells you to not put all your eggs in one basket. You know, it's like, okay, you know, I came here, I had all power in my hand, I was one, they played with me, they nailed me to a cross. But guess what? If I come back this time and it's about 100 of me, it's about 1,000 of me, it's about 144,000 of me, what y'all gonna do now? Get down or lay down. Blood on my knife or fecal matter on the tip. That's what they tell you in jail. They say blood on my knife or shit on my dick. So if you got 144,000 strong, all channeling Christ consciousness, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. And that's what we need to get. We, you know, because it's given very much we waiting on a savior and we're not activating the inward savior. My God is God today. And so more of us need to activate that consciousness so when we link, we can do the unthinkable. When we link, when we stand with each other, whether it's telepathically or physically, we can spout out some tones that cause ancient beings that have been sleeping to come from the crevices of the earth and move on our behalf. We know it's possible. The beings just need to hear the right sounds, the right vibrations, the right tones, the right frequencies. Enough of us need to come into alignment, and ancient beings that's sleeping because they haven't heard that bell. They haven't heard that sound. They haven't heard that tone. They haven't heard that vibration. They haven't heard that utterance. They haven't heard that cry. They haven't heard it. And I got chills. That sound that says, I've had enough. I'm tired. Playtime is over. Awaken. And I know that's the greatest power that we have. Is to come together energetically, come together on a frequency where our ancient ancestors can no longer ignore, because they see that we are in alignment. They see that we are connecting. They see that we are literally tired of this matrix. We are literally tired of this game. We don't want to play this game no more. We have ancestors who can literally rise up and dismantle all of this in one fatal swoop. We're going to have to start all over. Some of us going to go be with them. Some of us ain't going to be here after the cleanup. It's going to be the rapture for some of us. Because they ain't coming from the sky. They coming out that water. And some of us gonna be swept up in the rapture. And I'm letting you know I'm okay with it. I'm almost 50 years old. Bitch, I feel like I'm 70 some days. I feel like I'm 65, 70 years old some days. Child, I feel like I've been living my life in dog years. I have an old soul. So when they come up out that water, I'm good. I'm a holler. And I'm a merge consciously with one of the beings that come up out the water. And I'm going to be able to telepathically link with my people. And if you want to be one of the ones that want to stay, I'm a intercede on your behalf. I'm gonna be like, okay, don't bring the fist down right here, cause you know they got some big old, they big body beings, they big bodies. They when they bring that smack down, it's a whole city done for, gone. They bring that smack down, whole city finished underwater. So I'm gonna be like, I think these people is meant to stay here. I think this community, they want to stay. They want to try to rebuild. They want to try to be here for the rebuild. I'm gonna be with the ancestors interceding. Cause maybe when they come, I'm letting you know. I ain't trying to be here for the cleanup. I'm good. I did my part. I helped them come out the water. I'm gonna be with them trying to intercede on your behalf. I'm gonna be, trying to speak to them, saying, hey, if you trying to stick around, you trying to be here for the rebuild, you trying to survive, I'm gonna be talking to them, the ones who got the power to set you up somewhere, take you and scoop you up in their hand and move you over here to a place where they not doing their little workout, where they not destroying and smiting, pick you up with that big old hand and stretch across the world and put you down somewhere else. If that's what you need, we're going to ask them to do that for you. But me, I want to be a part of them. I want to be a part. I want to do the cleanup from the celestial plane. I want to be on that side doing it. I don't want to be in this body doing it. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to see the new world in this body. I don't need to see the rebuild in this body. I can look from the celestial plane and be like, oh, look. That's so cute for y'all. I'm good. Right. And see, this is the thing. That's why I don't say the Holy Spirit, because it sounds like it's something that got holes in it. I say the whole Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit sounds like this got some holes in it. This might not work out like we thought it was gonna work out, Fed. So I say the whole Spirit. After, not before, using her as a comrade. Ooh, gay panic defense. Nope, I pray straight to God. A crunchy, dried up comrade. Oh my goodness. I don't use no in the name of Jesus at the end of my prayers to God. Baby, you me mean that. You not letting that go, huh, Fat? They will lose power in becoming a slave breeder and discontinue the slave legacy. I'm melanin, I'm black, I'm Israelite. I also do not judge or pick on the ones of people who not woke, adding Jesus at the end of their prayers, right? Because that's the indoctrination. Same sex relationships prevent future slave generations. I ain't the one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. They demonize us the hardest because we're ending the slave bloodline curse. I'm black and proud of it. The Bastille and plantations is the only place where butch bunnies can let their hair down, baby, and be free, huh? What that is, the bathhouses beat to the gods. Okay, prison is their day spa with three hots and a cot, baby. You better, baby. That's what they liberated, honey. They get to be the girls, honey, and then come home and be the boys. I'm still a black bisexual. I'm still black bisexual M2F trans woman. Fatima is cackling. How deep a masculine nigga can arch his back and perform toxic masculinity. Come on now. Okay, deep. So he could take all of that pain. Get that dookie hole dug out until, oh my, not until the dookie falls out of it. No. Cake's finished with backup pork juice. Oh my. Not the not the emojis as child. 555. Toxic masculinity with 25-inch middle part. Fagulations 2 chapter 2 verse 22. Hold on.
This one, man?
Yeah, Tila.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, honey, fagulation. Chapter 2, verse 22. Yahweh, Jesus, Jesus, right. They all the same person. You know, off subject. Girl, they gonna love it. They hear the box rattling, baby, and they come. You want your little snack, huh? You want your little snack, backyard cookout, chicken, chicken flavor, liver, beef. They love them, honey. I got them another jar up in there, baby. I feed my children. Have my children starving. Because I want them to get thick. Be thick like they mammy. Let me see. Well, like they mama. Let me not call myself a mammy. Because you know how I feel about that. Absolutely. Subject. But I saw your other live chat and I agree with you about daughter friend name that starts with me, i.e. I forgot it was empathy. Horus or Isis, um, Joseph, Flavius or Jesus. It's all the same thing, idolatry. Too many unanswered questions, and it never felt right. The Divine Mother wanted to see another form of a manifestation of her. That's right. And females who identify with the construct of womanhood have forgotten that through the indoctrination into the ponkyarchy up here on this plantation. You can't talk about slavery and talk about people being less than um and be upset about white supremacy and be upset about all of these institutions that work to oppress you and then turn around and feel like you have a divine right to oppress beings who were not born with wombs because you feel like they were inferior to you because the original being that created them was more feminine than masculine and had a womb. Like you cannot justify all of the racism, the elitism, the sexism, the misogyny when deep down inside you believe that you're superior because you are born with a womb. You can't legitimately argue against sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, classism, elitism, fascism, colonialism. You can't argue against none of that. If you think that because you were born with a womb, you are more connected to the divine mother, you are more connected to the divine feminine. We are just another attribute of that energy that was designed to serve a different purpose. Baby, they messed that up. So you want another little scoop? Look, y'all not about to eat up all this, okay? I'm gonna give you another little scoop and you gonna let it go. But you acting like you starving, like I don't feed y'all. You acting like I don't feed y'all, but this it right here now. You ain't about to eat up all your snacks. Understand me? Mmm. Not literally all the same. They did different things and stand for certain symbolism for what they contributed in their lifetime. Okay. Unfortunately, in this reality, it's those who are considered white who recognize your humanity before any of our so-called kin and even family. You better say that. Yes. I like her also. Is it on? Is it on, honey? Is this thing recorded? The story about Jesus idol Christ was copy and plagiarism, and they put a twist on it. Child, I don't know if y'all watch The Fabulous Gemstones, but baby, when I tell you they is spilling the tea, baby, they made a white gay man the leading Christ man. And his story was stronger than everybody else's story because he was gay. Baby, they is telling the truth now, baby. The punkyarchy, baby, the white people is telling the truth. They're telling the truth. And I am happy that they are healing. Because that's healing for y'all, baby. They named the gay boy the leading man of Christ, won out over all the cisgender heterosexual men, because guess what? He lived in the closet for years, and what he did was he came out. He still honored the brotherhood. He still honors the ponkiarchy. He's still a servant to Big Brother who's watching. Oh, he loves a man more than a heterosexual man could love a man, because all the time he's gonna be on that PP. He's gonna be on that EPP. He's gonna serve that phallus, that holy phallic, that whole phallic, day and night. He's always gonna be on his knees in service to the Father. Mm-hmm. Yes, he is. He's make a wonderful leading man because he's always going to be on the job, the blow job. He's always going to be on it. And so it's befitting that the gay man be the leading man for God, be a leading man for Christ. Oh, yes. Well, yes, because he's always going to be on the job. He's always going to be kneeling in service. My God, it's God today. TS Power Rangers. 144,000. You better say that. Yes, believe in Jesus is like to believe in Power Rangers. I think the Power Rangers reference was more like the Voltron, because you know when the Power Rangers come together, they can also form a Voltron like entity. So I think that's more so what Anandi was saying. Um ain't no Antichrist coming after child. The Antichrist already here. What you gonna do when you believe in Jesus Christ? You believe in unconscious. And so for me, it feels like there's a little trauma there with you and Jesus. I'm sensing some traumatic experiences around you and Jesus, because you're just really dragging Jesus in these comment sections, in these streets. And the message that Jesus had was actually beautiful, and the Christians don't really follow the Jesus of the Bible. Because Jesus' teaching said, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I leave you to do greater things than I have done, because we're all a part of God's body. Like Jesus in the second in the New Testament was really coming to level the playing fields, and died on the cross. Like, they chose to make him a martyr, and to make that we all like it's really written clearly. Not trying to set himself above the people. Jesus walked with the people. So I really don't have a problem with the Jesus of the New Testament. I don't think that believing in Jesus scripture, I don't think that believing in Jesus in believing in that text, believing in that person, I don't think that that's wrong, because if you actually follow the scriptures that Jesus taught, Jesus never said anything about homosexuality out of his mouth. Jesus never condemned women. Jesus never condemned females. Jesus defended the prostitute. So I don't really have a problem with Jesus. I don't practice that as my spirituality because of what they have done to how they've manipulated it. And so rather than going down that whole, that's why I don't mind referencing Jesus or talking about Jesus, because the way that it's written in the Bible, Jesus is legit cool. Like, I really don't have that's one of the few prophets that I actually like in the Bible. I didn't feel like Jesus was, I feel like Jesus had misogynistic moments. I feel like there was some moments, but I think that could also be attributed to the time. You can't live in that era and not be a little misogynistic, not absorb and not internalize a little bit of that. But yeah, I'm not really about to drag Jesus, because even though I don't believe that perhaps someone existed whose name was Jesus, I do believe that there has been a being who has come here, who has went through what Jesus went through for the purpose that Jesus went through it. I think there have been several people who've come here. And this is why I struggle with my people so much, because people die every day. People suffer every day to elevate us, to expand our consciousness, to help us to evolve. And y'all get hung up on one person. And that's not even what Jesus taught. If you actually read the scriptures, that wasn't even what Jesus wanted. Jesus didn't want this. Jesus didn't want to be treated like this, to become a household name, to be worshipped, for people to call on his name, to drop. That's not, like, if you read the scriptures, you don't even get that from Jesus. And when you think about when he said you can't get to the Father but through me, understand that religious lore, they're calling him Christ. So they're saying that you can't get to that higher frequency, you can't get to that higher vibration unless you become Christed. You can't get there unless you receive Christ consciousness. There's no other way to get to that level of understanding, that level of intuition, that level of knowing yourself and understanding yourself without becoming Christed yourself, without getting on that frequency. Christhood is a frequency. It is a level of knowing yourself. It is a level where you are able to alchemize, where you're able to tap into the divine in you, Christ consciousness. So when he said you can't get to the Father but through me, he's saying that you have to get on this level. You have to get on this frequency. You have to get on my frequency. You have to get on my level in order to be able to tap into the divine. If you ain't got your Christ consciousness going, then you're not going to be able to tap into that. You're not going to be able to get there. And that's true. But people have taken the word and twisted it to mean something else. So I'm just, like, I don't want to make it look like I'm against people who believe in that. But I do have opposition to people who choose to like focus on all the Old Testament and focus on every other prophet but Jesus, but you claim that's the one who you love and worship, but you really honestly center your faith in Old Testament shit. Giants, cosmic, intergalactic beings, the elements, the angelic forces are with us. They waiting on us. They just waiting on us. The conscious power are the real Nephilims race, the inner power. Yeah. And they just waiting on us. Like if they just waiting on us. We wondering why they ain't showed up yet. Is because we're all conflicted. Enough of us haven't agreed on it yet. And the reason why a lot of us haven't agreed on it is the same thing that I said earlier in this video. Some of my family look like they actually getting their life. Some of my, my biological family, we'll say, oh, child, we don't mess with them. We don't mess with them, child, da 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 da. We'll be saying all that, but subconsciously, instinctually, baby, we love our biological family no matter how toxic they is. And we see them living their best halfling life. And we be around here struggling and going through it because we sitting here looking at them in their simulation and their dream sequence. And we want them to... we love them. Girl, I am miserable, girl. Bitch, I hate this girl. But I love my sister. I love my cousins. I love my nieces. To see them finding some joy in this dream sequence, I'm like, okay. And so because we're conflicted, we not all unifying to call on it. We seeing our little gay brothers, our little butch queen brothers, even though they get on our nerves. We seeing our trans siblings get to a place of passability where they feel like they eating it. We seeing our chosen family and our biological family have their little moments, and we like, okay, child, I'ma hold on a little while longer for you. But hopefully your ass gonna get enough soon. I hope shit ain't got to get ugly, ugly, ugly for you to finally say, okay, enough. Cause guess what? As ugly as shit gotta get, it's because that's how long it took y'all to say enough is enough. As ugly as things have to get, it's because that's how long it took us to collectively say, okay, this is really, really getting ugly. Life and death is in the tongue. Destroy and rebuild. You can create worlds and destroy worlds with this. Imagine if all of us come together. Enough of us. When the spiritual and physical realm merge together as one, purple. Yes, honey. Yes, Anadia. Yes, SJL. Okay. Halfling extinction. I still believe in the idol Jesus, just like I believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. They're coming out of the water and the ground. They surely is. They coming from tunnels and caves. Bitch, mountains gonna wake up. Trees gonna start moving. Trees gonna wake up. Mountains gonna wake up. Stuff gonna come from out of caves deep in the earth. Stuff coming up out the ocean. We've been walking on it, stepping on it the whole damn time, honey. The whole thing gonna wake up. The whole chessboard gonna come alive. I feel sorry for any not woke. Fear is not real. The battle is mine. I'm riding unicorns. Patty cake girl rocking robins. She doing the patty cake. They're gonna release the Kraken. Yes, release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. Girl, I want to be a part of the Kraken. I want to merge with the Kraken. I want to merge with the ancient Kraken. The Kraken gonna rise up out the water. I'm gonna be like this. The Kraken gonna raise up out the water. I'm gonna say, Mama, summer booty, Mama. Summer booty, Mama. Summer booty, Mama. Summer booty. Bitch. That Kraken gonna come out of the water. I'm gonna say, summer booty, Mama. Summer booty. Summer booty, Mama. Summer booty. Bitch. Bitch, I'm gonna have a whole color purple moment. Bitch, summer booty, Mama. Bitch. And no, I'm good. It's for cats. I wanted a bag of chips. you know you love King Jeebus. Phallus. He gonna worship suck the bottom for the phallus. Okay. Rectum. Oh my. Most definitely church, deep church hurt. No shade, you, me. I say this with love, but we don't need to keep repeating ourselves. You know Jesus is God, but you do greater works than him. No, God is the highest. I don't believe nobody is going to do greater than God. But we are all God, and so God works through us collectively. Like, we have to stop. And I mean, if you choose to look at God as something outside of yourself, something that works without you being a part of it, then that's your with you about your spirituality. But I'm letting you know that that's not Laylim Laylar. That's not what purple ones and whole ones practice. And so we're having a multifaceted conversation here, but I'm talking to other whole ones. And we see God, goddess in ourselves. And we understand that that energy moves through us and that the creator, the divine, can act through us and around us, not just away from us. So when these great things are happening, we can be instruments that the divine uses. So I hope, that's not lost on you. Because if it is, we might have to, do a halfling test. We gonna create a halfling test. That's what's coming up. Somebody put a halfling test in the chat. You know how they have an IQ test? we need to have a halfling test. If you agree that we need to create a halfling test, let me see some hearts. Let me see some 100%. Do we need to have a halfling test? Let me know. We need to create a test like an IQ test to check and see. Is we talking to whole ones? Or are we talking to halflings? Cause the creator is not outside of me. The Ponkiarchy rebranded and diluted Jesus story to align with Massa, right? I used to think I liked Jesus, but I always felt something was not quite right. And it's because you're not interpreting the story from a spiritual standpoint. You're allowing the preachers to tell you the story, and that's how you are absorbing the story and internalizing the story rather than letting the material set with you, because they are parables. They're stories, they're parables about a being who existed, who may have had a different name. There may have been some embellishments, but it's a story for you to resonate with, and you have to resonate with the word for yourself rather than letting people interpret it for you. And it's nothing wrong with it not feeling right with you, because you're supposed to struggle with it. If you're an intelligent person, you should ask questions. You shouldn't just accept what's being told to you. You shouldn't just blindly follow something. They cherry pick other stories that Massa paid the most attention to, right? You know, I was playing when I said, I know you love Jesus, but I do. I do. That's my favorite part of the Bible. I will actually read that and um quote from the New Testament. Let's be clear. Laylim Layler is rooted in a whole bunch of practices. We're rooted in the ancestral practice. We pray to the spirits. But I started off as a Christian. So in Christianity, the Christian roots mean that we believe in something bigger than ourselves. We believe in something greater than ourselves. And that's believing in the collective. You know, that's believing in collective power. That's believing in the ancestors. That's believing in the ancients. But Laylim Layler is rooted in multiple practices. We chant, Ekma Oya. That's a Buddhist thing. You know, we kneel and pray. Sometimes we cover our heads, depending on what time of year it is. Cause y'all know, in the wintertime, I go very much through my hijabs and wrapping scarves and being covered and trying to be on that level, and burning candles. That's hoodoo and voodoo. Like Laylim Layler is comprised of multiple spiritual practices. That's why it's about wholeness, combining it all together, and um not just being locked into one faith or one spiritual practice, but being able to weave them all together. So it's not rooted in Christianity, but Christianity is a part of it. Like the idea that there's something bigger than us, and that thing lives in all of us, and that we are capable to do beautiful things because we're connected to that. And so Christianity is a part of Laylim Layler. But we don't do that Old Testament. Just like we don't do everything in Buddhism. We don't do everything in the Muslim culture. Because Muslims believe that women are inferior to them. So we don't take all of that, but we do take some of the discipline that the Muslims have, the faith, being able to fast, being able to give up certain things. The Catholics also do that, the Christian faith. And so Laylim Layler is a faith that gives you the ability to be all of it or to be none of it. But believe in something, have faith in something. Have faith in the power of the collective. Have faith in your ancestors. Like, don't just make it about you. Because if you making it just about you, then baby, when it's time for you, when it's time to go to war, you need to be able to hold your own. If you got a me, myself, and I mentality, and you think that you is all you need, you the party of one, then baby, when it's time to go to war, then keep that same energy. You felt that when I said that, huh, Nadia? Seeing the halflings living their best halfling life. As Child said, 100% Khalid. I see family drink the Kool-Aid, but I know what's in it. I know what's in the punch. I know what's in it. That's like when I say, when you go up, when they be eager to get in up on the plantation, they be eager to go and sit at massa table, and we know they being poisoned. We know they being poisoned. We know they putting something in the food. We done seen too many people come out the kitchen sick, but yet they still sit at that table. As Child said, Kadeem, I see family drink the Kool-Aid, but I know what's in it. Bitch, I know what's in it. I know that I know that I know what they put in this T.S. Hiroshima of wholeness. The trees gonna grow arms and start throwing and start throwing heads. I'ma have my silk gown on with the wig on. You not gonna be beat for the rapture. You gonna be beat for the rapture, bitch. That bitch said I'm gonna be beat for the rapture, bitch. Anadia said, "Come on, Silk Gown." Yes, halfling test. We gonna do a halfling test. I'm gonna be B. I'm gonna be E inside L. Be B inside L. I know that's right. Ooh wee. The nation declares a halfling test. I have no problem being a halfling, but I love you hoes. I do not judge. My belief is different. I believe in a God outside of me. Okay, well, at least you can be honest about it. We ain't gonna judge you for that. Well, you have, well, there you have it again. The test is completed. Anadia! Nadia. What am I gonna do with you? Nadia said, well, there you have it. The test is completed, bitch. All we had to ask was one question, bitch. We didn't even need to go through a battery of questions, huh, bitch? But I live for the fact that she said, I don't mind being a halfling. She ain't try to fight with it. Knowing is half the battle. Ooh, I put my purple hearts up for my love for Kanye. Oh, thank you, baby. I love some people regardless if we agree or not. Amen and woman. I'm not with the belief that women are inferior. Okay, well that's good. I don't credit myself with having anything without the God that lives outside of me. Okay, I can respect that. At least you honest. Hello, Bill. It's childish cackling. Hey, look at your best in the midst of war, baby. Look at your best in the midst of war, baby. That lady said she gonna have on her silk gown when the winds start blowing, honey. When the trumpet starts sounding. Girl. Girl, I'm trying to channel, baby, I am trying to channel some Akmunda Gunda Gael. Bitch, I want gold to start pulling up from the earth, girl, and wrapping around my body like metal, girl. I want gold. Gold to just start coming out of the earth, girl, and start coming and just start draping around me, girl. Just start covering me, girl. And girl, just be taking gold and just be spinning it and wielding it, girl. Shaping weapons and taking different forms, girl. Just drawing gold up out the earth, girl. Yes, ma'am. Gold and diamonds, honey, up out the earth, honey. And be draped in it, huh? This lady said, and a fresh wash is set. God, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Oh, that lady said, and a fresh wash is set. Anadia said, I put on my gothic attire. All right, now you gonna be ready to channel. You gonna be ready to channel, huh? And have on your cloak. You gonna be doing cloaking, huh? Giving very much cloaking, huh? Have 50-inch lock extensions flowing. I know that's right. This is giving very black anime. This is giving black anime. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. It's giving very comic book. It's giving black anime. I'm living for the concepts. TS Black Anime Tees. I'm living. Okay, child. We've been on this live almost 3 hours. You know I love y'all, but baby, I'm hungry now. I gotta get me something to eat. Yeah, chill. I started this live almost 3 hours ago. I was supposed to call my cousin, and I ain't called her yet. So we did all the formalities on the live earlier. We lit the candle. We did light a candle earlier, didn't we? Or did we? Well, I have a candle lit in the bathroom. I do have a candle lit now. But child, this was a good ass live. I'm probably not gonna edit the TikTok content until tomorrow. But I did make a little short video. I wish this was still working. I gotta buy me a new lighter. Girl, this whole didn't last that long. Like, I gotta buy some fluid. Cause I think you could recharge this one. Well, anyway, let's spiritually light the candle in our minds. This live was busting. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I really should probably go in the kitchen and cook something if I'm trying to be disciplined. But there's a little devilish part of me that wanna go and eat some shit I ain't got no business eating. So we'll see what wins out. Cause it is kinda late. And I might just wait until tomorrow and hold off on that desire to eat something extremely heavy because I really want a thin crust pizza from Domino's with some olives and some sun-dried tomatoes and some banana peppers with some yeah, I really want to give that. I really want to give that. But I know I need to be obedient, because I do want to be a certain size by my birthday, and time is not standing still. Time is not standing still. And so, if I actually want to get down to this size, then there has to be a buckle down of sorts. So, what I think I'm going to do is go up in the kitchen. I got I got some watercress and I got some fresh strawberries and I got some salad dressing. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix that salad, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it grace. but tomorrow, but tomorrow, I'm gonna have to holler at that pizza. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I got some pretty strawberries and I got some watercress. So I think I'm gonna go ahead in there and I'm gonna do that watercress. Yeah. I might make a pasta to go with it. Like I might do a light pasta because I did want to have some pasta. So I might boil a little bit of pasta, make a little gravy to go with the pasta, make a little sauce to go with the pasta, just so a girl don't feel like she eating air. Yeah, do a little light pasta with a strawberry salad and call it grace. But yeah, I love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful evening. Remember to light your candles. Thank you so much for everybody who contributed to the conversation. Anandia, S Child, you, me, child. We was really, really, Miss Lady, Fatima was on here dropping them bombs of wisdom. Yeah, baby, this was a good ass live. So I love y'all. And I am going to holler at y'all either um tomorrow or a little bit later this week, probably tomorrow, because a girl is trying to go live more often. We trying to get them checks up. Get from down there. We trying to get them checks up. Trying to get them coins up. The nation trying to get them coins up. The nation trying to get that act. You got to be on live. I'm paying for this internet now. I'm paying for this internet now, so I won't be, you know what I'm saying? Like I got Verizon up in here in these walls now. I got the Verizon in the house now. I'm not just doing it on my phone. I got internet in my space now. So baby, I got to go live mode to pay for that internet. I can't be making bills, being on the internet, and ain't paying bills. My God, it's got today. So I got to be live a little bit more. Got to be on the scene, but I want to have stuff to talk about that means something to me when I come live. So yeah, I can't be just forcing topics trying to get a coin. So I appreciate that people that be sending me stuff, that and if I want to talk about it, I talk about it, but I don't like to be forcing it. If I don't feel it, then I ain't got nothing to say. I'm gonna be quiet because I ain't got nothing to say right now. But I've been feeling like talking. T.S. Verizon. Have a gorgeous night, Kaneen, sis, and ladies. All right, I love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful night. Down but now that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning e and Gani e Yonko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God. Goddess, and if I am, you are bound and round, both circle and square. We too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair. Il Babosawa, which means we come in peace. No harm to any. Lay lim, lay lur. You don't have to be filthy rich to stand on business. Next time I come live, I'm going to read our poem that we worked on, our spell that we worked on in Atlanta, because I haven't read it here. So I will definitely read that the next time I come live because we need to put those intentions out there in this climate. Yeah. We're praying for the safety, of our trans people this week, but we still gonna have the conversation. We're praying for the protection, the prosperity. Um, we're praying for a shift in consciousness in these DL brothers, and we're praying for a shift in consciousness with these cis identifying women, and we're praying for some more wholeness in our community. All these blessings we ask in the name of all the ancestors. We pray, amen, a woman, lay lim, lay lur. I love y'all. Later. We'll talk soon. Rest well, take care, and we'll talk soon.